The soldier who came home 30 years later. In the spring of 1995, Michael Carter stood on the front porch of his small house in Ohio. He was only 25 years old. His uniform was new. His dreams were still young. And in front of him stood the love of his life, Emma. She held his hand tightly, as if letting go would make him disappear forever. The sun was setting behind the trees, painting the sky orange and gold. Neither of them wanted to say goodbye. Michael smiled softly. "Don't worry," he said. "No matter how long it takes. I'll come home." Emma tried to smile, but tears already filled her eyes. She wrapped her arms around him. "I'll wait for you," she whispered. And then he left. At first, letters arrived every week. Michael wrote about small things. The food. The weather. The men he served with. How much he missed Emma's apple pie. How he couldn't wait to drink coffee with her again. Emma kept every letter. She tied them together with a red ribbon and placed them beside their wedding photo. Every night, she read one before going to bed. It made her feel as if he were still close. Then one day, the letters stopped. 1 week passed. Then 2, then a month. And finally, a military officer knocked on her door. He handed her an envelope. His face said everything. "Mrs. Carter, your husband is missing in action." The room became silent. Emma couldn't breathe. Missing. Not dead. Not alive. Just, gone. People told her to move on. Her parents said she was still young. Friends said she would find someone else. But she couldn't. Every morning, she made 2 cups of coffee. One for herself. One for Michael. The second cup always stayed untouched. Every year on his birthday, she baked an apple pie. Every Christmas, she wrapped a small present and placed it beside his old chair. And every anniversary, she looked at their wedding photo and whispered, "I'm still here." 5 years passed. Then 10. Then 20. Her hair slowly turned gray. Wrinkles appeared around her eyes. The house became quieter. But some things never changed. The letters remained tied with the same red ribbon. The second coffee cup remained on the table. And the porch light stayed on every night. Because Emma wanted him to find his way home. Just in case. People stopped asking about Michael. Eventually, everyone assumed he was gone. Everyone except Emma. She never removed his photographs. Never sold his clothes. Never stopped waiting. Because promises matter. And she had made one. "I'll wait for you." 30 years passed. It was a rainy evening. Thunder rolled across the sky. Emma sat beside the window reading one of Michael's old letters. The paper had become yellow. The ink had faded. But she knew every word by heart. Suddenly, knock. 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 She looked toward the front door. Nobody visited anymore. Especially not at night. Another knock. Slowly, she stood up. Her hands trembled. She opened the door. And froze. Standing in the rain was an elderly man. Gray hair. Wrinkled face. Old military jacket. Tired eyes. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then the man spoke. In a trembling voice, he said, "Emma." Her heart stopped. She knew that voice. Even after 30 years. She knew it. The man's eyes filled with tears. "I'm finally home." Emma covered her mouth. She couldn't speak. She couldn't breathe. She simply stared. Because the impossible had happened. Michael had come home. The man she had waited for, the man everyone believed was gone forever, was standing right in front of her. Rain fell between them. And then Emma stepped forward. She wrapped her arms around him. And cried. Michael cried too. Neither of them said anything. Because there are moments in life when words become unnecessary. They sat together in the kitchen. Exactly where they used to sit 30 years ago. On the table stood 2 cups of coffee. The second cup was already there. As if she had known. Michael looked at it and smiled through his tears. You still make 2 cups. Emma nodded. I never stopped. He looked around the room. Everything had changed. And yet, everything was the same. The photograph still stood on the table. The letters still lay beside it. The porch light still shined outside. Emma had kept his place in her life. For 30 years. Michael looked at her. Why did you wait? Emma smiled softly. Because the answer was simple. You promised you'd come home. Silence filled the room. Then she reached for his hand. And I promised I'd wait. Tears rolled down Michael's face. For 30 years, one promise had kept 2 hearts connected. Outside, the rain slowly stopped. Inside, 2 old people sat together, holding hands. 2 cups of coffee. 1 old photograph. And 30 years of love. Michael looked at Emma and whispered, You kept your promise. Emma squeezed his hand. And you kept yours. For the first time in 30 years, neither of them was alone.